Hi, this is Anita from the Global Trade Gal. Today I want to talk a little bit about product development. And actually, being able to develop a product really is a skill. It requires some very specific skills to be able to get something created or something produced that can basically sell, or something that the client wants or the customer wants. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that. There's several steps that we take to be able to do it. In fact, we have 5 basic steps. We're going to talk about everything about those different steps. The first step is what we call creating, concept and collaboration. Basically creating is basically there's an idea. Somebody has an idea. Maybe it's a sketch, a mood board, a Pinterest image, or just a color palette. Someone has this idea. They say, here is what we're looking for. Here is what we want to have produced. At Mondoro, we don't just accept concepts, we collaborate on them. We tend to work together a lot with our customers because to be able to create something, especially over in Asia, that will work in manufacturing, we honestly believe that it's very important to start at the very beginning with the design or with the concept, and then to be able to collaborate with that and to work together with that and say, this may not work, but this will work. Because sometimes, things that people ask us to do, they may look great on paper, but they may not work, for the cost, or they may not work for the actual production. So we'll look at everything from the materials, the shapes, the finish, to the functionality. We don't just make assumptions. We'll really, check it out. We'll talk to people and say, look, can this be done? Can this not be done? Or how could this be done? Or how can we do this? How can we, provide, this type of product? And how can we essentially make it work? At this creating stage too, a lot of times we like to provide things like color chips, finishes, swatches, other types of materials that might be used, because, one of the problems is that what you might think will be a color and what we might think might be different. So we want to make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to that. The next step is the developing phase. So now that you have the concept down, everybody's on the same page, we've all collaborated together, would be developing, and let's make a sample. Let's do a prototype. Working together, selecting the exact finishes. Developing is about building a physical version of the product itself. Because there's lots of things that can happen when you actually try to build the physical version of the product. It could suddenly be that you might decide, oh, we thought this looked great on paper, but we might have to change this, or we might have to do this instead of this. Not everything that you put on paper is going to look great. Of course, the idea is that you want to get as much down on paper as you can so that you don't have to end up having to throw away a sample because the sample's not right. Because the prototyping phrase can be quite expensive, especially if molds are required. Those can add up to be quite expensive. As specific materials, and you need other things. This, of course, can all, cost money, and it can also take time too. It can be time consuming to be able to get it all done. We understand that this stage can be expensive, but if you start to cut corners and start to say, let's go right into production, there are going to be problems here. So we highly recommend that everybody get a sample, get a prototype, get a confirmation sample, pay for you to physically see that sample and confirm that sample, and then do any type of changes you need on that sample before production. The next step would be the sample review and approval. So this is where you will approve the sample, you'll look at the sample. This is one of the most critical and important steps in the entire production process. This is where we send the finished sample to you, you review it, you have an opportunity to inspect it, you can decide, is this exactly what I want? Are there any adjustments that need to be made here? And if it's a significant adjustment, you probably want to do a new sample to make sure. In fact, if you're totally changing the shape, totally changing the color, starting over again, you may want to make sure that you do a new sample on this. If it's a minor one, you could probably get away without having to do a new sample and go right into production. The fourth step in all of this then becomes, once the sample's approved, everybody's on the same page, we all have the same documentation, becomes a manufacturing process. This is where we go into full-scale manufacturing. That this is where your vision really comes to life. This is where you're actually going to see those products come off of the production line and to be able to be produced. And then the last step in all of this becomes the packaging and delivery, because normally a sample will not be packaged as it's going to be packaged for the final production. Why? Because a lot of times the factory may not be able to purchase just that one piece carton. They may not have all the packing material needed that they need. Instead, that they might need to be able to buy some of the packing material. There can be many different reasons for this, but normally, the packaging will come out at the once the sample has been produced, and maybe we did a drop test on the sample, and you found that the packaging you originally thought would work is not going to work. So we have to improve the packing, change the packing. So there can be lots of things that can happen, again, with this packaging phase that we have here. You might ask, well, why does this process work for product development? And here's a couple of reasons why I feel like this process works. One is we don't take shortcuts. At every phase, whether it's the creative phase, we're trying to put as much as we can down on paper, getting it down on paper. Whether it's a sample phase, we're saying, like, let's get a sample, you look at the sample, you confirm the sample. We don't take shortcuts on any one of the phases. We make sure to have good communication. Communication is the heart of this. It's the heart of what we do. We want to make sure that, photos are taken, things are documented, so there's communication the entire way. We believe in flexibility. If there's something that needs to be customized or there's a special feature, we will work to try to make it happen. Like I said, something which is on paper may not look as good in person, and vice versa. Something that looks bad on paper may look wonderful in person. That's why the sample phase is so important. And finally, I'd have to say at Mondoro, we really believe in this whole process. We believe in the creating process. We believe in the development process, the manufacturing process, in watching things being created, and to the shipping until it reaches the hands of our client. We really believe in this, so we hold ourselves to a high standard. Quality isn't optional. We understand that quality is very, very important. That it doesn't matter whether somebody gets a great design. If the quality's no good, then there is a problem. So we really believe that quality is essentially and very important to what we do. Developing a home decor and home furnishing product is a journey. And it's not always easy. It can take time. And not everyone can do it. Not every factory wants to do it. Like, there's a lot of factories that just really don't want to do it because they understand how much time it takes, how difficult it is. They understand that, it's expensive on both ends. I always say to my customers, we don't earn money on development. We don't make money on samples. Even if we charge extra on samples, we do not make money on samples. Nobody makes money on samples. And even the first production run, we make a little bit, but not much money. We really make our money in previous production runs. Why? Because this and watching over this takes a lot of time, and there's something called the economies of scale, which the more you produce something, the easier it becomes. And you don't reach those economy of scale until you really have produced something for quite a while. So, just developing samples and just developing prototypes, nobody makes money on that. In fact, we all lose money on that. That's why it's very important that anyone that's looking to do this understands this process, that it's going to cost money to do a prototype, but at the same time you have to do it right. You have to put things down on paper. It has to be documented. You can't just do samples out of anything. You have to really make sure that the sample is right, and once the first sample's right, then you can move to the other samples and get the rest of them right if they're all similar. If you'd like to be able to read more about this, the home decor product development process from creating to manufacturing, we have a blog post we've written on this. We will put a link in our description for the blog post. We hope that you will check it out. If you've enjoyed this podcast video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We'd love to have you be part of our community. Thank you so much.